And what the idea is to take Nigeria, take West Africa, take the rest of Africa, and then use that resources to dominate the world.
Okay, so
Intelligence created by Al Qaeda between 1991 and 1996, Osama bin Laden was in Sudan, perfecting the model of how
that this has been happening since 2010. That's like 15 years ago now. The government said that they've done all that they can. Can you tell us, is this true? Has the Nigerian government done anything at all, or what have they done in this area in Plateau State?
Let me tell you, if I say they have done nothing, I will be lying. Because they have been sending security to this place. Anytime they attack, they will send foodstuffs and blankets and mattresses to help the people. But the question is, why is it that after they have killed us, they will bring aid? Why can't they block and prevent this crisis before it happens? We normally give them the early sign. We call for help. Sometimes reluctantly they will come. Sometimes they will refuse to come until after they are finished dealing with us. Then you will see them arriving. That is why I would say they have been helping.
So they are not.
And the help, those that benefit from the help of the government, let me tell you something. They are more from Nigerian government more than us. Despite we are the one victims of killing. They protect them.
Can you repeat that, sir?
This is the agony of Christians.
Can you repeat that, sir?
Eh?
Can you repeat?
Can I hear you?
Yeah, please, can you repeat what you just said?
Let me tell you, the Fulani terrorists, the Muslim terrorists are benefiting from the government more than us, the Christian. When they send security, you will see security. Normally, they will take one side and protect them. And they will penetrate the military to our side, in which they can block them as they are going back to their base. But instead of that, you see the security will jump to our side and block us from pursuing them. Until just 2 weeks ago that I cried out when they invented HEPAN. The military were nowhere to be found. We are left at the mercy of God. Fight and defend yourself.
So from what you are saying, sir, they don't protect you. They just come after you've been invaded to help, but they don't, in terms of security, you're not feeling any security from the Nigerian security forces.
You can see them, they will say they are waiting for orders from above. Well, they are butchering us even before their eyes. They will say they are waiting for order. That is the problem we have been facing. You cry. Some of them were not happy. The security are not happy. They want to react. But their leader may be a Muslim or a Christian that is in fear. If any one of them dare shoot, he will account for his bullet. And they will ask them, who ordered you to go in? And they'll ask them, who ordered you to go in?
Are you saying that the military is...
This is the answer.
So, are you saying that the military is compromised?
Out of many refuse to compromise. Yes?
Are you saying that the military has
I
been
said,
compromised?
Are you saying that the military has been compromised?
100%. Only few that breaks the power. They disobey orders. Then there will be court-martial for dismissal from the Nigerian army. And some decided to sacrifice.
What do you think is going on, sir? Why do you think, from what you are saying, why do you think that the military is refusing to protect you? Why do you think that they would rather wait till you've been attacked to say that they have come to help? What do you think is the end goal of what has been happening since 2010? What do you think is the end goal?
The end goal.
The end goal that they have succeeded in grabbing our lands. Many villages, over 300 villages in Plateau State have relocated. They have grabbed it. They build houses without permission. They invite their neighbors from different places to come and build in their area. They are shifting to where we are. We cannot.
Whether non-Christian, whether Muslim, anybody that is touched by what's been happening, how can they be of help? And if I hear you correctly, you said that more than 300 villages have had to relocate in Plateau State.
Yes. They have relocated to other towns or urban area.
More than
because they cannot go back, including me, my farm, including me. There are areas, my farm that I used to farm, my father used to farm, they have occupied.
So how can regular Nigerians...
They build houses on it.
How can people help?
The only thing, prayers.
Okay, so besides
it's prayer, only through prayers.
Who are the lawmakers? Who are the lawmakers representing your constituency? Who can we petition besides prayers?
Let me tell you, the lawmakers, some of them are sponsors of these atrocities. Imagine the lawmakers sat down and they were still denying, some of them were denying there's no genocide. Because the lawmakers, they make the law in such a way that the Islamic people have occupied. So when we come out with a no, they counter it. This is the problem we have. Even if they put a Christian, he will become a dancing tune to their tune. When it comes to recruitment in Nigerian army or police, you will discover Muslims are more valuable than Christians. Police and Delson, you find about 8 to 9 Muslims, only one can be a Christian or 2. This is the pain we are inside.
Help. How can the world help right now? How can people help?
What the world help, the world must come out and help Nigerian government to deal with terrorists. Because our security has been infiltrated. by repented Boko Haram. They absorbed them during General Burutai, the former chief of defense. He absorbed the repentant Boko Haram, and it was a tactic. Now they are a threat to Nigerian security.
President of Nigeria, nobody can argue there were deals that went on. And what he did was to play them against each other so that he
Yeah, you
could
are
get a seat in
alleging
the
that the
presidency.
President Tinubu had a deal with the terrorists.
Excuse me, it is no longer a secret anywhere in the world.
Hi everyone, welcome to this interview. This is a loaded interview, by the way, about the situation of things in Nigeria. I know many of us have been following the insecurity issue. Today, I will be interviewing someone who has been at the forefront of what is happening. If you don't know about the Macedonian Initiative, by the way, it's a faith-based, non-denominational NGO that has been responding to the systematic persecution of Christians in northern Nigeria since the 1990s. Now, the person that I want to interview today is not just a pastor. This man is a security consultant with more than 2 decades of experience, and he has also served as the Deputy Secretary General and the Director for Peace and Security at the African Union. Of course, he is the Global Overseer of Living Waters Unlimited Church and International Coordinator of the Macedonian Initiative. Please help me to welcome one of my fathers, Reverend Ladi Peter Thompson. Daddy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Adeola. And let me say quickly that we want to thank God who has given you a platform and a voice to speak in matters of opinion molding and consensus building. I think it's a lofty platform, and I pray you continue to use it well.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. First and foremost, a lot of people have been asking, what exactly are we dealing with? What is even going on?
I want to speak without a shred of doubt right now that what Nigeria is dealing with, it is both an ancient and a modern problem. And it is bigger, including religion, but bigger than religion. This is not an Usman Danfodio narrative. It's a more modern, more deadly, more intelligent Hydra, a supremacist agenda that was perfected by Osama bin Laden when he globalized the global resurgence of religious terrorism. This is not merely a Fulani problem. It's bigger than that. There are at least about 5-6 groups that we are reckoning with. It has a head in education. It has infiltrated our security defense systems. Over the years, it has infiltrated governance. It has infiltrated media.
Okay, so thank you so much, Daddy. But I feel like so far you have been speaking in parables. You are not naming. Okay, so you said 5 different heads. You need to put names. Also, you need to give the evidence of all these things that you are saying.
I told you it's a supremacist agenda that was designed to use Islam as a cover. That's why for the first 15, 16 years, it was targeted only at Christians first. I told publicly that in the later years, towards the end, when they're about to strike Nigeria completely, they will start killing Muslims as well. So I said that about 10 years ago. You are dealing with something that is global, but has a local face. Its objective is to take the whole of Nigeria, not some of Nigeria. Now, it's going to use Islam and the Sharia to take Nigeria. All over the world, its tactics are different.
Who is trying to take Nigeria?
Now, let me put it for you like this. The architecture for the intelligence behind this thing is more than the local intelligence. But they have contacted local actors. You see, there's what they call the ISWAP. The Fulani is there. Then you have the Kanuri-dominated Boko Haram. Then you have Lakurawa, Ansaru, and all those other offshoots of the global template provided by Al-Qaeda. Many headed, only one heart. And what the idea is to take Nigeria, take West Africa, take the rest of Africa, and then use that resources to dominate the world.
Okay, so it's Al-Qaeda that is trying to take over Nigeria through these different terrorist organizations.
An intelligence created by Al-Qaeda between 1991 and 1996, Osama bin Laden was in Sudan, perfecting the model of how to globalize terrorism and rule the world with Sharia. And he knew they would have to kill Muslims as well. So what we're dealing with is bigger than just a religious problem. It's a supremacist agenda covering its face with Islamic religion.
So, for people that may be watching right now, some of them will say, we've been hearing about things like this for a long time. Where is the actual evidence? Like what you said, Bin Laden drafted in Sudan. Is there a record of it somewhere? Like some people would say, where is the evidence to the things that you're saying?
Okay, one of the greatest weaknesses of the African nations of the world, including Nigeria, is the inability to mathematize inquiry. That is to collect statistics and data, crunch it, and then do what they call concatenation. That is to join all the dots and use that to come be surprised. If you follow the media in Nigeria over the past 20-something years, there's nothing I have said beforehand that did not come to pass, including when the color of the terrorist, the color skin of the terrorist is going to change in the latter hours, when they are bringing in people from the Maghreb and they're bringing in other people from outside of our borders. So if you want evidence, I will give you some. Number one, let me give you something very simple. There's no place in the world that has responded to an already documented resurgence of global Islamism by claiming to arrest terrorists, and then you claim that you have de-radicalized them, and then you absorb them into the Nigerian army. You see, that one alone is an amazing case of stupidity. I've never heard of this kind of madness before. An armed robber comes to your house, you arrest him, instead of prosecuting him, you claim that you have changed his mind, and you now make him join your megadis. That is, of course, one. Number two, if we collate, I can tell you from the beginning, one of the things I discovered from the year 1999 to 2000 was government complicity. And why do I say so? We have reached a stage now where we are not afraid of anything anymore. In those days, we were more afraid of the enemy within than the enemy without. So today, there can be documents that I will give you, we'll put on display. When you find out that young girls are kidnapped, married off, taken away from their husbands, I mean, sometimes young girls are kidnapped, sometimes wives are kidnapped, married off Islamic way, and you will see that a summons will come. The governors were aware. I can give you a case where we had to curb a terrorist attack in Kaduna State. We could tell you the modus operandi. It started with Gumi when he came back from Mecca, when he came back from Saudi Arabia. His first tafsir in Kaduna was a call to violence, to slaughter. The VHS came to me because we have been setting up early warning systems, and this is what a real early warning system is to prevent something. When we got it, we translated it into English, and at that time it was Obasanjo who was the president of Nigeria. Thank God for the Foursquare General Overseer, who is now late, Wilson Badejo, who assured me that what we prepared and gave to him was given to Obasanjo in his bedroom. But what they didn't know was that we were still monitoring Kaduna to see whether the arms build-up towards the execution was going to stop. When we saw that it was not going to stop, in fact, this is a good example I'm giving you. I had to call a special strategic session with media, because media is a force expander in this new war form, this Hydra-headed war form. At that time, the man they call Additional, who became Buhari's media, whatever, was at that time an editor-in-chief or something in one of the newspapers. They gathered together, and I told them, this is the problem. They are about to kill 600 to 900 people. Femi Additional. They are about to kill 600 to 900 people in Kaduna. And I said to them, we have sent all the information to the army, to all the places. There's nobody stopping them. Unknown to them, we were monitoring. The Gumi boy went into the SSS office in Kaduna laughing and came out laughing. When I got that report in Lagos, we decided to call this media meeting and said, look, how do we solve this? Now, there's a headline that we had to put up where they did as if they interviewed the head of CAN and had to interview Gumi. Immediately, we took the front pages, the full pages in the newspapers and the new media, and the news blew across the world. The queries came to the president of Nigeria. It was reported to me directly that the Gumi boy entered, then it was a small boy, he entered the SSS office. This time he didn't come out laughing. He left the country immediately. Now, this is a guy who has been banned by Saudi Arabia. They didn't allow him to enter Saudi Arabia. Let me give you another proof. I was on television when I found out there was no other way of escape. When an Al Qaeda operative was already appointed as a federal minister in Buhari's government, and I questioned
Do
that
you mind naming that minister?
what's his name? Something Issa Pantami. How do I know? I supervised an evacuation in 2004 when a young Christian was slaughtered in the mosque of ATBU. That's Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University. Okay? Now, when we supervised that, it was this Pantami who was a lecturer in that university at that time, who put a fatwa on certain students because they preached the gospel to Muslims in a university. And at that time, when they killed that boy, we had to go and evacuate the others whose names I spoke to them recently. They are still afraid till now. The young guys brought them into Lagos. We made arrangements to take them into other countries where there's better respect for human worth. And then Sunday Achi was the name of the student who was murdered. Okay? At that time, for you to know how this thing works, there was a bishop who was working with the Obasanjo government who went to arrange for the burial of this boy. And when I said, let us make it an issue, they at that time were cooperating because they didn't realize how dangerous this Hydra is. Later, that Hydra attacked that bishop, almost killed him, finished his secretary. Fortunately, they couldn't catch his wife. They maimed him. And today, he's one of the forefront advocates who has realized how dangerous this thing is. I could really give you many more examples. One of the former head of states who was claiming that there was nothing in his time, I was at a meeting with him in his home in Ota. When he gave me his own version of what he believed was going on, I said to him, sir, during your government, they were already building up more and more, infiltrating more and more. I said, do you remember a meeting you went to have in northern Nigeria when these things happened? When you left, they slaughtered every member of the family that entertained you. I said they were sending you a warning to back off. Now, some years later, he went for a security meeting outside Nigeria, and I think when they showed him the build-up of what is coming into Nigeria when the final phase comes. Look, the Nigerian army in totality, everybody knows what the number is. The last time they engaged the BH on 3 war fronts, it took almost 2.5 weeks to overcome. So everybody realizes that if you think the Nigerian army can withstand a combined forces of what ISWAP has planned in the future, what is working for us right now is very simple. Nigeria is 220 million people strong. The number of all these people who want to swallow Nigeria, they're not even up to 450,000. Now, the strength of this is, let me break one nonsense that is going all around. And this is what we have to be careful to counsel the US government about. Anybody who looks and thinks that the Fulani is a primary problem is a joker. It's not the primary problem. All the combined forces of all these people is not up to 400 and something million. Now, is it this ill-educated?
400 and something thousand.
Yes. All these ill-educated, all these, what can I say, anachronistic human beings who are wearing loincloth all over the whole place, do you think that they are the real problem? Listen, the Fulanis have told you that they were busy using their six when people came and gave them AK-47s and took their children to go and train. Why don't we realize that it's the intelligence that is arranging logistics, that is arranging safe passage for them? I have boys in the army. We used to pray for them. When they locate the enemy position in the Nigerian army, a signal comes from Abuja that they should not attack. The signal will be delayed. After 3 hours, they tell them, now go. The Boko Haram will have left that place.
So
what more proof
are
do we
you
need?
saying that the Nigerian government is involved in what is
What are you saying?
happening?
Even Jonathan, before he left, openly said they are in my cabinet. Look, this thing has been known to collapse nations from within. So there's nothing new about what is going on in Nigeria. It's just like the architecture of thought. I would rather speak to the younger generation, the digital generation who understand programming. Because it looks as if the older generation don't have what it takes, don't have the understanding to acknowledge that there's a problem here. And let us come squarely. My eyes are on the president of Nigeria. He needs to be careful. Yes. Listen to me. I have nothing against him personally, but I can tell you something that is very, very clear to anybody. Now, he is an astute, consummate politician, but he doesn't realize that there's a global problem that he's dealing with. In order to become the president of Nigeria, Nobody can argue there were deals that went on. And in essence, what he did was that he, more than anybody else, realized that there are many factors to the Hydra. In terms of the kinetics, apart from the Fulani, the Boko Haram, the ISWAP controlled, Ansar, Lakurawa and Co. And what he did was to play them against each other so that he
You
could
are
get a seat in
alleging
the
that
presidency.
President Tinubu had a deal with the terrorists.
Excuse me, whether we like it or not, it is no longer a secret anywhere in the world that.
So, but what's the evidence? Some people will say that.
Okay, let me
What
give you talk. Let me
evidence
just
do
give you
you
throw you.
have?
Let me throw you one quickly. People don't realize that the Mandela bombing in Niger State, the Catholic church that was bombed in Niger State, the fellow who headed it actually was in Lagos, in Snake Island, 2 days, 3 days, and then traveled to northern Nigeria to take his team to execute. What does that tell you? Now, when he got into police custody, he was arrested and he miraculously escaped. When he escaped miraculously, where was he rearrested? Where did he take up refuge? He took up refuge in the lodge of a serving high-placed government official from Borno State, who happens to now be who? The vice president of Nigeria. So what am I talking about here? Tinubu is one heartbeat away. You see, I feel sorry for him. In a way, we need to protect President Tinubu's life. He may think he has the guts to face these people, but I can tell you something, he has totally misread the size of the problem in which he has gone to double his hands.
Okay,
These
so
people,
you said a lot of things. These are serious allegations.
please,
You
don't even bother. I'm the one talking. We are, listen, we are
yes.
the circumcision. We worship God in the spirit. We rejoice in Christ Jesus and we have no confidence in the flesh. I'm a statesman. We worry about the generations to come. I'm not worried about the next election. There's nothing I'm saying that cannot be substantiated, not only within Nigeria, but globally. So let nobody deceive themselves. He's so-called, look, why do you think the federal government is trying to deny an evident truth? And all these people who have collected 30 pieces of silver, all these people speaking from two sides of the mouth, who are just shifting positions like the mendacious president that we have, why do you think they are going on like that? Because there's a plan. If this intervention had not come, and the president was allowed to go through his 8 years, who will he hand over the country to? And does he think they are not wise enough to know that if they are able to eliminate him, into whose hand does the country go? Now, this is where the problem is. If the country goes into the hand of the Boko Haram, the Fulani will not be happy. Those who are, look, let me give you a good example, an open secret. When Shekau
Are
became an
you saying
empanelment,
that the country will go into the hand of Boko Haram after Tinubu?
please, if you remember very well, just after he came in, there was some kidnappings, some bombings, and then there was an outrageous demand for one impossible, I can't remember, was it 20 billion or something, impossible amount of money. When that demand was made, it was not really because they felt that kind of money will be paid. It was a direct message, a coded message to the presidency. Everybody is aware now that there was complicity in the times of in terms of the former president Muhammad Buhari. Like I mentioned Issa Pantami. Also, don't forget about that his interesting governor who turned against Buhari in the last minute, who was persuaded to turn against Buhari, the worst governor Kaduna State has ever had. And I said something when Kaduna State was able to do
Governor
this
El
32.
Rufai?
Yes. Look, let's not even go there. Go and look at his tweets in the earlier years. Go and look at his own open admission on television that he left Nigeria to neighboring countries with money to go and sponsor the terrorists who had come to kill in Nigerian territory. Why did they have that kind of confidence then? Was because they knew they had entered governance. Now, as I'm speaking right now, listen, we need to reformat this country. And there's an opportunity that has come right now that if we mismanage this opportunity, let me tell you something, even God in heaven will look away when in the south part of Nigeria, in the eastern part of Nigeria, 13-year-old girls end up being raped. Look, there was a blogger recently who was being political, and I want to tell everybody prophetically right now what is coming up for those who refuse to face truth, those who refuse to give value to the lives of others. A young blogger recently said that there's no genocide, I'm a Christian, I don't feel threatened, long live P-Bat. She was one of those who was killed, if the account that is coming is right. in Kwara State in a church attack. Oh, she thought it was far away. Now, this is the fate, sadly, of those
Now,
who live in
by
Nigeria.
opportunity, you're talking about Trump saying that he would interfere with what is happening in Nigeria.
I prefer the word intervention, and let me put it for you like this: for any godly-minded person, the declaration of Nigeria as a country, a CPC, that
Country of
designation,
concern. Yeah.
yes, that designation is a human designation. What we should worry about is that God in heaven himself had already declared Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Listen, according to prophecy, Nigeria is supposed to be the trigger of a global move of revival. Then the other side too decided that Nigeria must become the epicenter of the next greatest satanic attack against the entire world. So the destiny of Nigeria is what we're fighting for. Look, the corruption in Nigeria, I gave an interview when President Tinubu entered, and I did remember saying that it would not be an honor for anybody to serve in this dispensation. After the negotiation, he bought. Look, the mantra of this government is this: whatever problem money cannot solve will be solved by more money. Not realizing that there's a hyper-dimensional problem, a problem bigger than money. Look, let me tell you something, the mistake that he's making. The whole Nigerian budget, when you look at it every year, all said and done, comes to how much? Maybe about $30 billion. How much does the diaspora remit to Nigeria every year?
20 billion.
Dollars.
Yes,
So
sir.
when you hear Nigerians, you see, when poverty has been weaponized against a nation, people cannot think anymore. The older generation have been reduced by the weaponization of poverty. So look, thinking is an expensive thing. So it's not easy. Don't blame the average Nigerian.
Okay.
People are susceptible to money.
So, Daddy, before we round up, you've said a lot of things. Are these things that you can defend, like the
In my
allegations
sleep.
about the
In my
presidency,
sleep.
the vice president being part of, the
Excuse
Boko
me, in whose
Haram?
house was Kabiru Sokoto? In whose home was Kabiru Sokoto hiding before it was picked up? Please, if not for global interference in Nigerian affairs, we are ready 90-something% to the day of doom. So if we like, let us miss this opportunity. All those talking from the same different sides of the mouth, they will soon know what it is that we are dealing with.
So, exactly what do you want the US to do?
Very simple. There are 4 sets of people who are talking to us in the US. Number 1, those who are genuinely concerned. All right. Number 2, we have those who are looking for government appointments. Number 3,
In the US, looking for
in
government
the
appointments
US,
in
they are looking for
Nigeria.
government appointments in the US. They are
Oh, with
careerists.
Trump's
That's who they are.
administration.
Then there are those who know that money, US dollars, follows policy. So if not for Trump, they will not be speaking up. They are there. And then there's a last set of zealots who are so zealous that they reject God's wisdom. Those ones are what we call sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. They are equally as dangerous. So this is what I want us to do. If Nigeria cooperates properly with the window that God has used Trump to open, there's something that I cannot talk about in detail now. It's called the flight of 2 eagles. There's a bald eagle in that vision that can rescue the green eagle. Now, if we are able to eliminate the unnecessary voices that are fouling the waters in America for us, both within those against us and those for us, and remain only the voices that are looking forward to the future of Nigeria, let me tell you what will come out of it. Number 1, Nigeria will become a nation. Watch this, where the value of life will be something else. We will leap from quantum leap to the forefront of global civilization, all within 4 to 8 years. Number 2, the Nigerian foreign exchange right now that is about 1,600 naira to the dollar can be brought down to at least 1 to 250 to 350 naira.